Hi. What we're going to do today, as the title of this video describes, is that we're going to do some very simple weathering. Something like this. Well, over the next two videos or so, it will turn out like this, with a lot of rust and weathering, and it looks really used and abused. Now, to do this, we're going to have some very simple tools. We're not going to use, well, what's that doing there? It's an airbrush. We don't need an airbrush. These things are so expensive, and you have to buy all sorts of things to actually make them work. No, we're not going to use that at all. That's far too complicated. What we're going to use are things that you can get in a hobby shop. Nothing special, nothing expensive, or things you can find around the house. And that's it. Now, as we're going to do this very quick and easy, it won't take very long. We're going to use an American box car. This is a kit from probably the 1990s. It's not a bad kit, actually. I've actually changed out the wheels because I came with plastic wheels, so I've put steel wheels in now. So here we go. Let's have a quick go. I'll say this won't be very long. Throw that over there. And this is the kit we're going to do. It's a Grand Trunk kit. From I think the 70s, because they sort of went bust after that. And it comes in parts, not like in Britain where they all come ready to run, but there we go. And these are the trucks. Oop, get in focus if we can. There we go. And what I've done now, I've just changed out the wheels here, the steel wheels now. Now, we're going to weather up very quickly, so hopefully this won't take too long. Put that over there. Stay there. Right. One way to do the wheels, or the trucks, I usually take these off. So take the wheels off. They go running away like that because I've got a tilt on my desk for some reason. There we go. There we go. Still moving. Look at that. Stay. Right. First thing to do is the wheels. And to do that, I use one of these. This is essentially, well, in fact, I've got two of them. Paint pens. I'll get these off eBay or from a local hobby shop, and they're very cheap. Well, they're about £3, £4 a throw, but they last a long time. And they're the sort where there's a little ball inside them, and it mixes all the paint up. Now, so all you do, you might have to trim the very end of the actual pen. Sometimes they're just too big, so I trim it with a blade. Take your, can you see that? I hope that's working. And then all we're going to do is put rust. It's really a depiction of rust. If you like that, and turn it around. I say this isn't going to be the most detailed way to weather anything, but it's going to be a quick way. Let's put that over there so it doesn't run away. There we go. And then around that one. Actually, I've chosen two wheels which aren't exactly the same, but never mind. Doesn't matter that much. Oops. And, oh good, that's not going on that well, but get in there. And there we go. So, can we get that closer? Not the best, but it's quick. That's all we're heading for. At the end of the day, if you want to put more detail in these, then you can take more time. And we'll do these wheels as well, all very quickly, like so. Turn them around. Now, the reason why I'm doing an American box car is because I love American box cars. They're so fantastic, large machines, so easy to work on and easy to see. And I really like them. I think they're fantastic. So there are the wheels done. Now we're going to do the same thing with the bogies, and we're just gonna very quickly. In fact, it's a bit awkward just because I usually hold this a little bit closer to my eyes, but because I'm blind as a bat. But at the end of the day, we'll just do that and cover it up, get into all the nicks and crickies. Do the other side. We're doing this real time, aren't we? So there we go. Along it up, get some on my fingers, which is always fine. No problem at all there. That's what soap's for, let's face it. And have a tune whilst we're doing it as well. make a cup of tea. There we go. So I don't do very much. This, as I say, this is going to be very quick and easy. You can do a lot more to these. Now we've got another paint pen which has got slightly brown, or lighter, or is it, yeah, lighter colour. And all we're going to do is do the, can you see that there? I'll keep meaning to try and get it in the middle. If I bring it a little bit closer. I'm going to put a lighter colour just on the springs. Not that lighter, in fact, if I hold it like that. You can see there, it's not that lighter, but it really just gives that slight difference. Oh, I guess who forgot to do that side? Me! I don't know. What am I like? Anyway, just do that. At the end of the day, you will take more time over this. But you don't have to. You can do it like that. I've done lots of these like this, simply doing them as quick as I possibly can. And it sort of works out well. Just getting used to this camera so I can... there we go. I should do it. There we go. So that's those. All we're going to do now, get the pens out of the way, is wait for that to dry. Right, hello again. So what we've done, we put the wheels back onto the trucks, all the bogies, like so. And also, I got the base. Now, this is a kit. In America, lots of these come by kit, although these days most of them are R2R, ready to run these days. But you can still take the base off. What you can do, you can just put that paint pen around the edge. And also what I've done is just put a little bit of onto the KD coupler at the end of these. Use these brilliant couplers, which I think are fantastic. They work so well. I wish we used them in the UK, but never mind. Also at the bottom here, what we can also do, get a pen, here we go, and you've got these, if you can see, hope it sort of, come on, there you go. It doesn't always, it's a little bit blurry occasionally, so we're just going to put some brown, hopefully you can see this, get the light right I think, Richie, come on, there we go. And you can do more to the bottoms of these obviously, but I really don't care that much. But you can do a lot more to these, of course, the pipe work and all that sort of thing. You can put rust at onto these as well. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do this as quickly as we can anyway. So that's that. This is the main part. So some people actually weather these all by themselves and they don't put them on. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to put these actually onto the base, put the wheels on, and then we're going to use the powders. We're going to bring, as you can see, this GT and all the writing on here is far too bright, and we're going to bring that down so that it looks like it's been out in the weather for some time, and then we're going to add more on top of that. So let's do that. So I'll just put all this together and I'll get back to it in a second or two. You're back again. Right, done that. Got the wheels onto the boxcar. Whoops, the KD is going a bit strange. It's not the best model, this, but no mind, it does the job. So the next thing to do is to bring this sort of bright colour and these decals down so that it looks as if it's been out and about. And one way you can do it, you can use a very light, what do you call it? You know, I can't remember what's called, sandpaper type thing, but I don't use that because it's far too harsh. And what you can use instead is, well, kitchen paper, I suppose, or I don't know what you call this. It comes on the roll. Now, kitchen paper, people always think it's soft and nice, and it's not. It's actually quite harsh. That's why it's used to actually mop spills up and things of that sort. And what you can do is just, because it's sort of like sandpaper, but it's much milder. You can just put this over. We'll just do this very quickly indeed. It'll probably take a little bit more time than this. There we go. And also it helps to I'll put this down and do it that way. Also helps to for the powders to actually take hold as well. So, and you see some of, if you can see that, some of the blues coming off, but that's okay, don't worry about it. And do the other side. Now, these videos, we're just doing a few quick and easy weathering at the end of the day. And this first one is just basic weathering the way I do it, which is very basic indeed, mainly because I'm lazy. The second one will go into rust. I like rust. I love using rust. I love... Oh, look at that. It's starting to wear off a bit. That's excellent. Oops. We're using different parts of the roll. And the third one, there is a third way of doing this, which is essentially a dunking technique. And I haven't done that for ages, and I would like to do that. There we go. Do the top as well. I usually just do the... There we go. There we go. And that's that part. Okay. So does that look different? Not really. It does a little bit. To me it does. I don't know how it looks like in the camera, but to me it certainly does. Right. Next thing is our favourite. I'll just put that back onto there. There we go. Wink. Weathering powders. Now to do that you need a good soft brush. Okay. And we're going to do some really basic weathering. Now what you can do at this point, you can take some hairspray and spray this all over and allow it to dry. Make sure you're in a place where you got plenty of ventilation, because hairspray is terrible for the... it's not very good for you, let's say that. And that will actually make even more sort of something for the weathering powders to hang on to, but I don't think we'll do this. That's on this occasion. Okay, so we're going to get some powders. The powders I've mixed up, if you can see them there. I wish I had lighting. It's a bit dull day. It's snowing today actually. It's March and it's snowing, I can't believe it. Anyway, sort of a lightish brownish, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Easy peasy. First of all, get a piece of paper. And as you can see, I've halved the piece of paper so that you put this down here. So when you do weather and there's dust everywhere, it goes onto the paper and it goes into this channel on the paper, so that when you come to the end you can just simply pick it up and all the weathering powder that you haven't used or has come off the model, it just goes back into the container that we've got. So here we go. All good fun. And what you do, get a whole load of weathering powder. And I usually, I mean, you've got different ways of doing this. I usually put a whole load onto the roof. It's actually quite easy, no problems with it. Right, and I'll just bring that paper just a little bit forward. Now sometimes you can actually get something to hold this, but I don't mind holding it at the very edge. It does the job. And all you do, just brush it. There's quite a lot of it, so you think, oh, that's far too much. Well, only a small part of this powder will actually stick. Only a tiny part. And as you can see on the paper, it actually goes into that channel, so you don't waste it. Weathering powder isn't hugely expensive, but it's expensive enough. Let's just say that. And do that there, get more, and just lean it back so the weathering powder can actually go down the sides. There we go. Just do it nice and quiet, nice and gently is the word. And then, oh, we go. This brush I'm using here is very, very soft indeed. And there you go. If some go onto the trucks, fine, that's no problem at all. very, very lightly. And get some off of there. There's always some that pile up at the bottoms there. Okay. There we go. Dee 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 dee. And on the steps, of course. Don't worry about the powder. It's not going to do you any harm, as far as I know. I've been doing this for some time, so. And just use it a little bit more gusto. Get some more out of there. And there we go. There we go. That's that side. Now, the ends is somewhere they're far too clean and easy, so all you can do, take a bit there, smooth it down. Be careful of the, can you see that? Just about, good. And then get into those, because we don't want it to look like it's been in a quarry. Dust and dirt gets everywhere. And then what you can still do with this is just use the other half. So if we, can you see that? Angle it. That's better. Sometimes you find that one side of the car is actually lightly less weathered than the other side. That's usually because either it's standing at a point where the sun is fading one side and not the other, or the winds are blowing one side and not the other. So, there we go, and down the bottoms, very lightly. See how this isn't taking any time at all to do very, very basic weathering on these things. Now, of course, we're going to do some rusting as well, which is going into a bit more depth. But to be honest with you, there's a bit of paint work. That's all you need to do. Let's get into this nice soft brush. Get into those parts there. There you go. And then we're going to do this end. There we go. I usually tilt it a little bit like that. I don't know what tune I'm doing there. Whoops. Get it over the paper would help, I suppose. And it grips. As long as you, I mean, some people use baby wipes to actually clean the sides before you actually put the weathering powders on. That helps them. I've used that a few times. Okay, on the top, as you can see, it's not nearly so shiny. But we're going to just put a little bit along the top. Not very much. And along the actual edge. The very top of the there we go. Now this is, as you can see, there's excess on it. You can throw that off like that and give it a blow. Remember to vacuum up afterwards. But there we go. That's very basic weathering. And it doesn't look too bad. You can see some differences there, but you know, it hasn't been in a shitstorm. Pardon the expression. It's just been out waiting for a few months and getting dirty. Now you can add more on. What you can do at this point is spray it with some hairspray or some clear gloss or clear matte, and you can do it again. Depends on how much you want to do it by. Now, what I tend to do, is turn it upside down, because it tends to be quite a lot of dirt on the very bottoms here. We'll do the trucks as well whilst we're at it. It gets thrown up from the ground. Now when you finish this, then you can put hairspray on as well. That essentially what that does is seals some of this in. There we go. And what we're going to do is dab some of that in there. And use the brush to actually get that into every nook and cranny you can find. I mean, the great thing about painting the trucks is that the weathering powder will actually stick to it. Okay, take that off like that, give it and then turn it around, do the other side. Here we go. Let's see if we find that. There we go. Is this can you see? Okay, cool. And then do the same here. Don't worry about how much weathering powder you use. You're going to put whatever's over back into the container, and we can use it again at a later date. And then you just stipple. Is that the word? Stipple? What's the word I use anyway? You stipple that in there, right down at the bottom. Right, and then we'll knock that off. And then what we can do is just very, very lightly get that off the bottom there. And underneath there. And as you can see, there's more at the bottom here. Not by much, but just a bit, enough. You can overdo this. Easily overdo this. Turn it around. There we go. And that is almost there. I mean, that's very basic, as you can see. It's not too bad. Now, we'll just put that over there a second. Oops, I've got two sheets there accidentally. What I'm going to do, take this, and put it back into there. There we go. And there we go. So, what does that look like? Now, it looks a bit dirty, but I'm going to just give it a quick blow. Pardon the expression. And voila. So, it's certainly not as bright as it was before. So that's very, very basic. As you can see, the trucks are nicely weathered. The ends aren't too bad. The roof is much darker, or darker, not so bright, not so shiny. But we're going to do more with that as we go on. So there we go. That's our weathered boxcar. The next video, which hopefully it will be in a few days' time, or maybe a week's time, we're going to rust this baby, and we're going to rust it similar to this, with a rusty roof. Maybe not so much, not the whole roof, maybe just part of the roof. And we're going to have rust spots, I mean, it's going to be pretty horrible, but we're going to have, where these spots are, some weeping rust, where the rust forms and then it sort of weeps down in a trickle. We're going to do that as well. So there we go. Very basic weathering. Hope that's helped.